So we read the same what we did last time. Item 9, Jiva and Isvara. Sthula Sharirabhimani Jiva Namakam Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati Sayeva Jivaha Prakrtya Swasmat Ishwaram Gunnatvena Janati Avidyopadhisan Atma Jiva Ityuchyate Mayopadhisan Ishwara Ityuchyate Evam Upadi Bhedat Jiveshwara Bheda Drishtihi Yavat Paryantam Tishtati Tavat Paryantam Janma Maranadi Rupa Samsaro Na Nivartate Tasmat Karanat Na Jiveshwarayoho Veda Buddhihi Svikarya. So the status of Jiva and Ishvara is not real. It is only an incidental factor because it is because of certain conditions that is being told. And this condition is referred here by the word Upadhi. Upadhi means that is instrumental in bringing about this apparent difference. That is what is called as Upadhi. Like even in an actor appears differently because of the costume. The same actor can have double roles differently and the person appears to because of two different costumes only. The costume which makes the difference is what is called as Upadhi. So like that here Jiva and Ishvara intrinsically are one and the same. But at present there is a difference, glaring difference between Jiva and Ishvara. And we see the difference from what standpoint? From the standpoint of power, standpoint of various things. Ishvara is someone superior, we Jivas are all someone who are all very much limited in power. In our Shakti, varieties of things, we are all someone limited. Whereas Ishvara is one having limitless power. So naturally, from this standpoint when we see, we can never say that Ishvara and Jiva can be one and the same or they are identical. One can never accept. That means as long as the standpoint is to see from the powers, the status, the position, everything, there can never be a one identical status of Jiva and Ishvara. So that is what makes the status of Jiva. Means when you have got a factor, the limiting factor through which you are a Jiva is called avidya, means your ignorance and confusion, because of which you look upon yourself to be what you are. Here the avidya and maya we saw is one and the same. But wherever avidya, the word when we use, it has got the power to totally keep you under its spell. You are under the spell of Maya, like even the magician keeps the audience under the spell of magic. Whereas the magician himself is totally free from the spell of magic. Like that, Ishvara uses the same Maya, but not under the spell of Maya. He wields the power of Maya, uses the power of Maya. So that he has got the power to wield as he wants, He is called as Ishvara, means he has got all power. What is Ishvara? Ishana Shilaha. One who has got the overlordship, who rules over everything, including Maya, the power. So while the Maya is the power in the hands of Ishvara to freely use it, we are totally under the spell of Maya. We are not one who can use Maya, but as though Maya makes us dance. So as long as this condition is there, you can never accept the fact of Ishvara and Jiva being one and the same. Understand? This is what everybody in the world generally say. Whenever Vedanta comes and says Jiva and Ishvara are one and the same, they can never accept, because their standpoint is to see themselves from this limiting adjunct called this Upadhi. This is a Maya Upadhi, which is called Avidya here, because we have got ignorance, we have got confusion. As long as it is there, when we are expressing through this, our status becomes limited entity, limited from knowledge, limited from our powers, limited from standpoint of our also pervasiveness. We are limited. Whereas Bhagavan is all. That's why he is always used as almighty, all pervasive, all knowing. 3 words. English, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. 3 things they will say. So all these from what standpoint? When he expresses through Maya. That means what is the factor that expresses through Maya? It is a common factor. And that factor is here what is called as Ishvara, that is called Atma or Brahma. So that's why earlier we saw Brahma plus Maya equal to Ishvara. Brahma plus Avidya is equal to Jiva. That is what the common factor in all of them is called Brahma. So that means minus these factors, what is there is only one and the same. As well, last time I gave the example of either you take a motor, if it is a 5 horsepower motor and a half horsepower motor, motor standpoint, one is superior, another is inferior. Because half horsepower motor can only pump that much, its revolution is that much only, whereas the 5 horsepower is much higher. Or you can have cars. When you say Mercedes Benz and a Maruti car, there is a lot of difference in both of them. But if you see behind both of them, the motor, what is the factor which makes them run is common? Electricity. In electricity, there is no superiority, there is no inferiority. It is a common. Viewed from motor, one is less small, less powerful, another one is more powerful. If you see the car, one is more powerful, better performance, so many things you can say, but what gives the performance called petrol, in both of them are one and the same. So this is what is being told here. So ordinarily we people in the world, we give Bhagavan first of all a position. That's why we will give as Vaikunta, Kailasa, so many things. And we see that Bhagavan having lot of powers, so we become governed, he becomes the governor. We are all particularly beneficiaries, he is the benefactor. So like this we see, we can never accept I and Lord can be one and the same. Understand this? And as long as this outlook is there, this bhavana is there, this is what is called Dvaita. This is what is called Dvaita. Dvaita means what? Where the Ishvara and the Jiva are totally 2 different entities, factors. This is what is called Dvaitam. So in Dvaita philosophy, they will never accept that the Jiva and Ishvara are one and the same. In the Vishishta Advaita, there they will say it is Dvaitam, at the same time it is Advaitam, they will say. Both are real. that is there one more addition. While drop is water, but drop is drop, water is water is. Because why? Because their drishti is from the standpoint of the volume. When you see from volume, after all drop is drop only, and an ocean is after all ocean. A reservoir is after all a reservoir. Ocean cannot be the reservoir. That means like these people always have difference, Vedam as absolute reality. The Dvaitam as well as Vishishta Advaita, such philosophies will say this duality and the differences between Jiva and Ishvara, they are absolutely real. Means what? It can never undergo any change. You are permanent Jiva, Ishvara is permanent Ishvara. You will never remain. And when is moksham? Whenever Bhagavan blesses you one day, and if he gives you the chance to be the one free, you will become free. Otherwise you can never get freedom. For the sake of that, throughout your life, keep on doing service, puja, prayers and other things. And whenever the time comes, one day Bhagavan may grant you the freedom. Exactly like Christianity telling that the day of damnation, when you will have all the things they say. It is the same thing the other philosophies say. This is where this particular Vedanta differs. And you may say, how can Vedanta have a special thing? That is a fact which Bhagavan himself says in Gita. Bhagavan himself says all these things in Gita. So it is not that Shankaracharya tells anything. People attribute this Advaita philosophy to Shankaracharya. That is their mistake. They are one and the same. It can never be. Then that is why what we should know, what do you learn generally? What is learning? Anywhere we should understand. We always learn something only what we don't know. Is it or not? What we know, we need not go and learn. Don't we know that even without learning that God is someone other than us, He is greater than us, He is superior to us, and I and Lord can never be one and the same. This we all know. Should anybody come and teach us? Nobody need come and teach all these things to us. If at all somebody has to teach you something, the teaching should be something which you already don't know. Is it or not? That's why our Shastra says, Ajnata Jnapakam eva Shastram Jnanam. What is Shastram and Jnanam is something which tells you something which you don't know. Nothing can be a thing which can tell you something which you already know. Even in a given particular field of knowledge, if at all you learn areas which you don't know already. You might have learned certain areas. Other area you don't know, you further go for the study in the same field. But what you have already learned, you never go to study again. That's why any book you take for reading, oh, this book I have read, and you keep it away. You don't go to study. That means that I and Lord are different is a thing even for anybody knows in the world. Even a layman in the world know that I am different, God is different. So nobody need come and tell us and teach us that you are different, Lord is different. But then if at all one has to teach you, to show something which is totally different from you, which is a reality, that is what is called this Shastram Advaitam. You will clearly understand. And that is why the teaching is very important. You must know. That means then this glaring difference that is there between me and Ishvara as two different entities is only because the standpoint from which we look upon ourselves. First I tell you, the whole starting point is me. When I see myself in a particular way, naturally from that standpoint, the God is totally different from me. If we look upon as a body, as an entity born and living, naturally you and Ishvara can never be one and the same. Absolutely not. Hence, when does the Shastra come to reveal to you that you and the Lord are one and the same? After we have seen so much. And that is the end portion now. Having told so much, Shastra now tells understand, there are two sections we have. One section individual you, we were seeing first. Second section we saw the world and the Lord. And finally we saw the truth of the world and the Lord and you, all of them are one and the same. If the truth is one and the same, how many truth is there? It can be only one. It cannot be many. And that is the section that is being told here. Hence, through the upadhi, the limiting adjunct, the manifesting adjunct, if you look, Ishvara is different, another one is different, like you and me are different. Everybody is different. Nobody is one. That's why oneness is never seen with these eyes. Every oneness is a question of understanding simple thing. When we say we are all Indians, Bharatiyas, on what basis we can say we are all Bharatiyas? From seeing. With this eye seeing, we can never say we are all Bharatiyas. How can we say? From language we are different, from place of birth we are different, varieties of ways you look, we are all totally different. By glaring things you cannot say we are all one. Can we say? We can never be one. But on that we are Bharatiyas is a truth. Is it or not? From what? Because we all have got a birth only in this country. That's why we are called Bharatiya. Is it a matter to be seen? It is a matter to be understood. It is a fact. It is an underlying principle. Like even in a family, if there are children and people, members, brothers, sisters, there are many people. When somebody says you are all one, we must know from what standpoint we are all one. When we are many plural, how can we be one? Father different, mother different, so brother different, sister different, so many people are there. And we are all one when we say from what standpoint? Because our parentage is only one. So the children are all one. It is not a question that we see and see. It is question understanding certain factor behind that oneness. We must always know. So whenever our Shastra tells that you and Lord are one and the same, it is not from this glaring things which we report by the eyes, all differences, and seeing that if Shastra says there is oneness, we should know from what standpoint it talks. And for that reason only this section is introduced. And this is the basis for Advaita non-dual. Non-dual is not absence of things. If absence of things are there, that is called shunya. We got a word. When nothing is there, there cannot be non-dual. Because generally dual means two. Non-dual means absence of two. If absence of two is one, okay, there is one. Who will say there is one? Because you should be there to say one. So when you are there plus another one, can there be one? Because somebody has to say there is only one. And the one who says plus another one will be always what? It can be only two. Hence this non-dual, the word, which is popularly we use as opposites, dual, non-dual, people generally think when there are many, there cannot be non-dual. So if at all there is non-dual, there should be only one. And the one, how you are going to see the one? If I have to see the one, I must be present. Plus the one has to be seen, then all the time what will be there? There will be two only. You can never have one. Then what is this meaning of one? What is the meaning of Advaita? What do you mean by that? That is why from a standpoint, everything is one. Simple example, you and your reflections, please. It's a basic thing you should understand. When you go to a mirrored room, if there are, let us say, 100 mirrors, and you stand in the center and look around, and you start counting, how many you will be there? If you want to count all of them, 100 plus 1. Are you 101? What is the reality of you? 1 or 101? This is the one we must know. Are you not seeing 100? Plus you are there. So how many should be there reality? In spite of seeing 101, the reality is what? That reality is one you don't see with your eyes. That there is only one is understood. Then what happens to all these 100? That I see. That's why we call it as apparent. Or earlier we have used one word, you must know. This is what is called mithya. Mithya, I told you, is that which doesn't have an independent existence. That means your reflections have existence, and their existence is dependent on two factors. One factor is the reflecting medium called the mirror. Second factor is you. Without you and the mirror, your reflections cannot have any existence. But in spite of there being many, you still remain how? One. Otherwise, you will have to say 101 lunch. If 101 is real, you will have to make how many? 101 lunch. You don't make. Or if you take another way, you take photographs of you. We can make any number of copies. Because you have got 100 number of copies and you taste all of the room and look at it. How many are you? In spite of this, you are still only one. How you, the one, has become many? This is Maya, I told you. The Maya is the camera plus the Upadana Karanam there, the bromo paper. Two things makes the one to appear as though many. But in spite of appearing as many, the reality is what? It is only one. It's only one. That is the topic here. Thus, from a standpoint, we do admit Ishvara is anytime superior and the Jiva is always someone who is limited. And that's why we say, when do you get the status of being Jiva? When you look upon yourself in reality to be this body, this mind, this intellect. There's an entity I am when you say you are absolutely a Jiva. Naturally you have got limited powers, limited capacities. Naturally you are dependent on various natural forces, natural things, everything. Naturally we cannot claim I and Lord are one and the same. Understand? Hence, if you think that is your way of looking at it, you are 100% correct in telling that you and Lord are not one and the same. There is nothing wrong in it. Absolutely right. But then when Shastra tells you that you and Lord are one and the same, you should understand it's not all that foolish to talk like that. Hence it has got a standpoint from which it is talking. And that standpoint is making this apparent and what is the reality. That means the common factor between you and the Lord being one, remove these factors which brings about apparent differences. What is the truth? The truth is only one. There is no difference. We can give different umpteen examples. If you take two buckets and pour in one clean water, in another one make a little dirty water, and keep it outside, let the sun reflect. When you look at the clean water, the reflection is clean. In the dirty water, the reflection is little blurred. Now in sun, is there any blurredness? Sun is common, but what makes the blurred appearance? It is only the container or whatever it is there, and the quality of the water. That is why the blurred thing is called avidya here, the mind. That's why this is called a bucket. English there is a phrase, you will know. And in this, what is the water? The mind is the water. If the mind has got dirt, the reflection also becomes dirty. In the Ishvara, the mind is totally pure. Here it is dirty. That's why we have got the Jiva Bhavam, the feeling of small, fear, anxiety, insecurity, varieties of things are there. Because we have got an opinion about ourselves. That's why particularly you kick that bucket, the water goes. What happened to sun? Nothing happened to sun. Both the buckets went away, both the water went away, the reflections also died. In the depth of the reflection, the sun original doesn't die, nothing happens. Similar is the case here also. That's why in English they say kick the bucket. That is what is called death. Kick the bucket is called death. So that's why when this particular bucket is kicked, not that Atma dies. That is why there is no death. But really death is for whom? Death is for this body. The body's nature is to die. It has to die. However much you try, it cannot remain. It has got its gradual nature of going away, decomposing, everything takes place for that, and one day it has to perish. In its perishing, the Atma, the content in there, it has nothing to happen. And it has got all these qualities which you see, the guna as you call it, of the body, the mind or anything, is not there for Atma. Another way, if you allow sunlight to pass through window panes, which has got different colors, though the reflection is colored, sun is free from all the coloration. It doesn't make the sun dirty or colored. Similarly, these are all the media through which Atma is expressing, not knowing the condition of the body, the mind, other things, we unnecessarily impute, attribute to Atma and feel small, and this feeling condition is what is called Jiva Bhavam. So what is the remedy? That is what is being told here. Having understood this, the apparent difference between Jiva and Ishvara, since it is apparent, not intrinsic, not real, not paramartham, what one should do? One should understand and give up this opinion that I and Ishvara are two different entities. In Ishvara, Ishvaratvam is because of Maya. In you, Jivatvam is because of the thing called Avidya. The Avidya is in this form of body, the mind, everything is called Avidya. Understand it, sir? So this way that is there, if we understand, view both, removing these two things, you will find particularly what is there is only one common truth. That is what is called Satchidananda Swarupam. So when Shastra says there is identity between Jiva and Ishvara, not physical, not through powers, not through attributes, Burden from what standpoint? From the standpoint of Paramartham. So what is the drishti here? Paramartha drishtya. Between Jiva and Ishvara, there is no difference. On the other hand, what is there? There is identity. Then is there a Jiva plus Ishvara? There are not two entities, there is only one. And what is that? That is only Parabrahma Swarupam alone is there. And once you say there is only Parabrahma Swarupam, there is one or many? What? This is what is called Advaitam. That means, for understanding Advaitam, which is the reality, should the duality disappear? Like even, to understand that you are one, should all your reflections disappear? If you are intelligent, even when the reflections are there, what is the reality of you? This one. Let the reflections be there. I am still only one. Similarly, the whole world is a mirror for that truth, Paramatma Swarupam, to reflect. This is also a mirror. Everything is a mirror. In that, who is reflected? That Parabrahma Swarupam. So even when the reflections are there, what is the truth? There is only one. As long as we don't understand, we can always feel it is different. Like even a sparrow. Have you seen a sparrow? By chance, if it comes to a mirror and it looks at the mirror, it thinks there is another sparrow. At home in the house you will see sometimes. And it will sit there and keep on pecking on the other sparrow. Because poor thing thinks there is another sparrow inside. This is what we are all thinking. And that is like even the sparrow is ignorant, cannot understand that is only my reflection. Like a dog looking at the reflection and barking on its own reflection. This is what we are all doing. Hence, this is what Vedanta comes and tells you. As long as you conclude and remain thinking that I am this particular equipment, I am this body only, this is anatomy is me. If you think, that is the only problem, please. The anatomy need not go. Let the anatomy there. Let everything you do. But with the knowledge, stand apart and say, anatomy is there. Everything is going on. But their condition doesn't affect me in any way. No manner it affects me. Thus I am ever free. And that free me is the freedom, free Ishvara. And when we say Ishvara there, to you, he is also free from either Vishnu or Shiva, Ganesha. None of them is there. Then what is there? Satchidananda Swarupam. This is the principle in Vedanta of non-dual Advaitam. Hence what you should understand, Advaitam is not absence of things, please. It is not absence of world. It is not absence of things. Advaitam is in spite of the whole creation, the truth is what? Truth is one. Another way, if you go to the ocean and see, there are waves and waves and waves. And in spite of you seeing different types of waves, bubbles and ripples, if you really understand, in spite of the many, what is the content? There is only one water, H2O. Is there anything else? There is nothing else. So should the waves stop for you to understand the truth being water only? If we are intelligent, we can always say what is there is only one water. Then what is the status of this wave? That is why wave is called a creation of Maya, the factor. The wind is the Maya which makes all these things to happen. That's why when the wind stops, there is a calm ocean. No waves, nothing, absolute. That is who makes this Brahman to appear many? It is all nothing but Maya, Maya, Maya. So should Maya go away? Let Maya be there. Once you understand, Maya is a great thing to enjoy. Like even children, when they go to the movie, small children, they look at the movie and start weeping. They cannot enjoy because they think the movie is absolutely real. So it causes fear for all of them. But the same child grows up, then goes to movie, what does it do? It starts enjoying. Why? Because understood that this particular movie is not a real thing. It is only an apparent thing. It is a false thing. This is what we should understand. Similarly, all this that is happening here is only an apparent thing. If you understand, the same mind can become free from anxieties, worries, everything. The purpose of this study is for that purpose. It is not some particular knowledge, something we are gaining for something here. This is how more understanding about oneself, you can always be peaceful from anxieties and worries and tension. You are tense because of thinking varieties of things. That may happen to me, this may happen to me, this will happen, that will happen. All worry about you. In Gita, Bhagavan says, you need not worry even about others. Because even for others, nothing is going to happen. Because in them also, what is the truth? Truth is the Atma. Because our worry is either about oneself or about others. We are always worried. So if you have got this knowledge, you need not worry about anyone for that matter. Provided you know. And once you know, only your worry will go. You cannot expect because I know others' worry will go. It is just like you are doctors. If a person takes medicine, that person disease gets cured. Because I have taken medicine, another person disease cannot get cured. If another person wants to have the cure, that person too should take the medicine. Similarly, if you understand, your worry will go. You will not add a problem to others. Understand? One person less. And you can always give more strength to others because you don't worry about anything. Otherwise, if everybody worries, it becomes a big commotion because the condition becomes too much. So that is why by learning, you can always be free and you can always become free from tension all the time in life, I tell you. As Jiva, however much learned we are, however much you do anything, but situations are there which cause a lot of tension in our mind. But by gaining this knowledge only, situations will be there, I tell you. Calamities will be there. Don't think after studying Vedanta, calamities will not be there. All calamities will be there because that is the nature of the world. World is such where calamities will be there. Magnitude will differ from time to time. But they all will be there because that is the nature of the world. We are trying to change the nature. That's why we are not getting particularly any sort of particularly success in that because you cannot change nature. We should accept nature. Understand nature. Nature will be like that. So live, understand and tackle the nature and go with the nature knowing this is the maximum we can do. Beyond that you all say always. That's why when a patient is there, after some time you say it is beyond us. Because that is the nature. You cannot do anything. That is a fact. You have to accept that. There is no point in worrying about it. This is called objective. We have to be very objective in that. So Vedanta tells to be very objective. Understand the reality is what it is. The world will be like this only. To a certain extent we can modify, improve things. But you cannot do everything. It is impossible. And we are trying to do certain things which are impossible. That's why we are all failing. And we have got a lot of tension. So we should understand the limit to which we can do. Beyond that, we should not sit and try to waste our life in that. To the extent possible, do it. But nobody says you should not do. But in spite of all of them, what is to happen is still happening only. It cannot be changed. So that is why we say, Bhagavan is going to say in Gita, because you study Vedanta and understand your Atma, will you die or not? From what standpoint? Which you? If you ask the body, certainly it will die. That is why Bhagavan Krishna also died. Rama also died. Vyasa has died. Shankaracharya has died. Everybody, every saint has come and dead and gone. With what? From the standpoint of this body. Nobody can stop this body from perishing. However much you do, it can never be stopped. Right? You may extend its existence to a great extent by this and that. Today so many gadgets you put and think, prolong and prolong and prolong, you may do. But one day it has to go. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. Because it is, nature is like that. That's all we can do. We cannot do anything more. You may succeed in that, we don't deny. And that again, if the thing has got its life to live, otherwise it may go away in spite of all you do. That's why our Shastra says, how long this will exist? It has got a lease period, I told you. If its lease period is there, you are successful. If lease period is not there, in spite of, that's why generally they use the phrase, operation success but patient died. Understand itself. Because the patient has got no life. So naturally patient has to go. This is what happens. That period is there. Everybody has come, ordained period is there. Within that time, if the person has got life, your operation success, patient also lives. That's what we must know. Otherwise, in spite of good doctors, people die. It is not doctor's fault. The person doesn't have the life to live. We must know. So these are all the things we should know. This is called Jiva Bhava. The Jiva Bhava means a confusion. It is an ignorant state. That's why after the ignorance goes, if you understand what you are, you give up the Jiva Bhavam. The body remains, the mind remains, the world remains. What do you give up? An opinion, a bhavana about yourself. And the moment you give up that, you thinking I am a Jiva, I am a mortal, automatically goes. And when you give up that, the result factor is what is called generally, you are immortal. We are not immortal from the standpoint of the body. You are immortal from the standpoint of that Parabrahma Swarupam, which is generally called as Amrita Swarupam. Mrita means mortal. Amrita means immortal. It is not drinking. It is opposite. Mrita, to be dead, to be dying, to be mortal. Amrita means negates the mritatvam, so you are called immortal. So you get amritatvam as though you attain. Why previously you thought you are mortal. You are mortal because you identify with the mortal. Give up this identification. Next minute, who are you? Immortal in spite of remaining with the body. And that state is what is going to be told next, called Jivan Mukta Avastha. What is Jivan Mukta Avastha? Even when the body is living, clearly in the buddhi, understanding that I am not a mortal. But who am I? I am the Satchidananda Swarupa Atma Brahma. We never say, you say I am Ishvara. You always should say I am Satchidananda Swarupa Brahma I am. Because when you say the word Ishvara only, you think, how can I be Ishvara? Because in your concept of Ishvara, Ishvara is like this, like that, so I cannot be that. So that is why the problem. So Shastra never says you are Ishvara, Shastra always says you are Brahma. You are Brahma means you are limitless. You don't have any limitations. That limitless truth is yourself. All times of time-wise limitation, that called death, space-wise limitation, object-wise limitation, all of them gone. And when they are there is called mortal, limited entityhood. Once that is not there, you are limitless. This is the section that is told here. This is the essence of the whole thing that is taught. That's what now finally it was told here what? Evam. Evam means in this manner I explained in the earlier section. Upadi Bhedat. Upadi Bhedat, because of the difference in the Upadi, I told you. Upadi means what? The adjunct, Ishvara's body. Simple thing, if you see Vishnu, he has got 4 hands. You don't have 4 hands. This is called Bhedam. So I and Vishnu can never be one and the. But then what he says, Yavat Paryantam Bheda Buddhihi Tishtati, Bheda Drishti. Drishti, that's why we say either we call Bheda Buddhi or Bheda Drishti. That means it is only your own thinking. The notion is called Bheda Drishti or Bheda Buddhi. It is in your Buddhi. You think like that. And as long as this opinion remains, Yavat Paryantam, as long as it remains in one's Buddhi, means one holds on to that opinion. That is the idea. Then what will happen? Tavat Paryantam, till then. Janma Maranadi Rupa Samsaraha. What is Samsaram? Predominantly born and gone. In between is the dash. Everywhere you go in the, particularly in the cemeteries and all, when they put the plaque, what do you say? Born on this day, dead. In between they put a hyphen. What is the hyphen? That is the period you lived. You have to calculate and say how many years you lived. And how was your life? Then you have to read the autobiography. What all things are written. There only comes Sukham, Dukkham, this, that, 1,000 things that are there. And this born and gone, till then whatever goes on, entire thing put together is what is called samsara. Samsara. So as long as this opinion remains, what it means that even though one life you die, because you held this opinion and before death you didn't give up, you continue to be born again. Understand this? That is Janma Maranadi Rupa Samsaraha na nivartate, means you don't get freedom from that. Why? You still hold the opinion tight. And because of the opinion only, you have again to come back. And this is what is called Prarabdha. What is Prarabdha? This opinion which we have been holding on. The past. Prak means past. Arabdha, last started long time back. With reference to this, the previous one you can say. Because in the last birth you had this opinion, the present you are there continuing. And if you continue like this, next one will start. What is the example? Like even you going to sleep. When you go to sleep, you had certain opinions, understanding, thinking. When you wake up, how do you come? Change it? Or with same opinions? That means by sleeping, no opinions undergoes any change. They are all remaining like what? Dormant. They are lying there as a beacon. That is why next day, even though you went to sleep, you start with the same, to open a new chapter. That is what we do. Death is also like that only. People go with a particular opinion and ideas. That's why they come back the next day. What is the basic opinion? That I am only a Jiva. I am a mortal. I am like this, like that. That continues. Never go. That is the basic thing. On that is built up, varieties of things are built up. That is the basic cause for that. That is, if the samsaram has to go, only method is to remove that. That is why in your language I told you, that is the diagnosis of the cause and treat the cause. So this opinion being caused because of ignorance about a certain reality, you have to treat that ignorance. And the ignorance born, confusion and ignorance, both goes by understanding the reality, truth, which is given by the knowledge. Hence he said that ignorance being the cause, The remedy is only knowledge. That is when our Shastra we says, karma or anything you do, these opinions can never change. You may be a great bhakta doing puja, prayer, everything. Not that we are criticizing. But tell me please, will your opinion change? In spite of doing lot of puja, lot of prayer. But what happens to you about your opinion? That's all you are asking. And opinion about Bhagavan. Does it change? It becomes more and more concrete. It doesn't undergo any. Or in olden days they used to do lot of rituals. Even if they do, their opinion doesn't undergo change. Or today we are all scientific people. Even with scientific opinion, our opinion doesn't change about ourselves. We must clearly understand. Not that they are all bad. We should not understand that way. They have a place, but they cannot do more than what they can do. To expect them to do more than what they can do is our mistake. It is not that particular thinking. Bhakti has got its place. Karma has got its place. Everything, yoga has got its place. They are all to do something. But if expecting them to do more than what they do is our mistake. It is not the mistake of those sadhanas. We should not find fault with them. Hence, if at all one meets the moksham absolutely, that is our Shastra says, absolute necessity, that is what is called as knowledge. Knowledge is a absolute necessity. Why? Because the simple fact that problem is born of ignorance. And ignorance can be removed only through knowledge. Like even you have said, darkness can go only with light. Anything else you do, darkness can never go. It's a simple thing we should clearly understand. Hence, once you understand this truth, this samsara can be removed. It's a contrast we have said, but if the opinion still continues, one can never get freedom from this samsara. Because the topic, Vedanta's purpose is what? Vedanta's purpose is only to show this oneness, identity, not being different, which itself is the cause for your freedom, moksham. From what? From the entityhood of smallness, miserable conditions. All these things, from this we become free. For this purpose only is Vedanta. I say Vedanta is not to go and sit somewhere or anything. Vedanta understand, live in the same world, free from anxieties and worries and other things. Live in this world. In spite of all situations, in your mind you can have peace. That is the purpose of the study, provided we understand properly. That is what is very much essential. If it is not properly understood, you can have a lot of confusions and problems. Having told this, because in case you hold on to this opinion, you will still continue to wallow in the samsara. Hence advice is given. What is that? Tasmat karana. For the reason told earlier. Jiva Isvarayoho. Between the Jiva and the Isvara. Veda Buddhi. The Buddhi means the vision or thinking of difference. That I am different, Bhagavan is different. In this manner, the Veda Buddhi, which generally is because of looking from the standpoint of the body, that particularly na svikarya. Because karana na, there are two na. So you have to separate one na and then add to na svikarya. One should not entertain. One should not do that particularly. So that is why one has to particularly know that. Because knowledge alone can give, otherwise. One Upanishad says, see, Shastra generally says we have got rebirth. These are all the things we must know. If we don't understand, we have got rebirth. So one may say, not in this birth, next birth I will get. One can say, correct, we don't deny that. But then we are not sure whether next birth is going to be human or what it is. you are not sure. Because that is not in your hand. Because after death, you have no freedom. That is what is called, you have no purushartha. After death, you have no purushartha. Purushartha means free will, choice you don't have. Till death you have got free will to choose, to do, to accomplish everything you have got. After death, you are totally in the hands of your karma. The karma decides what you should do. Like even that is all these things will come. Like even you can write the examination question answer. After examination, what choice you have got? No choice. Because after the examination, totally what is the choice? Your writing has got a particular, that is going to decide what is the result. Similarly, our life we are leading is the examination, understand itself. After death is the result. You have no choice. That decides what you should do. Hence, if at all you want to be what you are, when should you do? When you are writing the examination. That is called our life. Here we have got a choice, what to write, how much to write, everything we have got. That is what in our Shastra called Purushartha. Purushartha, where there is a free will to make yourself, to better yourself, to get the moksham, to do anything you have got a choice. Better make the best thing out of it. That's what our Shastra says. Hence Upanishad says, Iha ched avedi ata satyamasti. In case in this life you understand this truth about yourself and the particular totality, the absolute being what you are, then there is a satya, means your life becomes useful, purposeful, really done. In case you don't do that, then you say, Mahati Vinashti, the loss is great, great loss. That's why in life you say, you get a chance once in a way. And if you miss the chance, what is it? Maybe you don't get the chance, what do you say that? Same thing our Shastra. And if the chance is of some great thing to accomplish, and out of your own carelessness you miss it, what do you say? Oh, 1 in a million gets this chance. Why did you lose it? That's what Bhagavan says in Gita also. People many strive, but really a person making is rare. And you cannot say, how can I be? Why not? Who told you you cannot be? Like when you tell your children, why should you not be the one who can be having distinction in the marks? Why should you think I will not get? Don't you tell your children? Why don't you study and make it? You never say be defeatist, I will not get. You always say. Our Shastra also says, never think that I will not be able to get moksha. Certainly strive and see that you will get. It is in your hands. Because moksha is not for someone to give. Understand? Because how does moksha come? As you have heard, they are all equal with you. Because moksha is into your thinking. If you think that I am body, I am doer, I am sufferer, you are meant to be free. But if you understood and constantly understand that I am the Atma, next minute who are you? You are free. So now this moksha is in whose hand? Please tell me. So if the Guru gives or Bhagavan gives, who gives? Tell me. So who squanders it now? Who squanders the moksha? We or somebody else? Can we shift the blame on somebody? We cannot. We cannot. That's why if we are seekers of moksha, we could not try to shift responsibilities or blame on somebody, because it is in your hands. Which Bhagavan says in Gita, you are your enemy, you are your friend. It is all in your hands. It is only you make it and mar it. It is all question of how you do it. How much importance you give for it. That means there is a chance for you to become free now, here. Bhagavan says in Gita, Iha eva taihi jitaha sargaha. Iha eva, now here, in this life, in this world. For whom? Those people who understood the truth. Yesham samye sthitam manaha, whose mind always appreciates the samam. That's called Brahma. Understand? What is samam? In me also Brahman, Ishvara also Brahman. Everywhere what is there? It's Brahman, the one who understands. That's it. Nirdosham samam Brahma. Tasmat Brahmani te sthitaha. Bhagavan says. That means if you see everything Brahma, you are establishing Brahma. I am Brahma. So where is it? It is in your hand. You cannot say, we are ordinary people. Can we make it? Who told you not? If everybody says, we are ordinary people, can we become doctor? What you will say? Tell me. Is it not that everybody can become, provided they strive for it? They qualify themselves. Can't they become doctor? Any profession you take, everybody can do, provided they come up to the required thing. Is it or not? Same thing is here also. That's why Vedanta says, you come to the level, you can also have it. That's all simple. And like any accomplishment, you have to strive for it. It is not an easy thing. Like even there, you have to strive, put lot of effort. Here also equally required. So we should not conclude it is only for some rare people, it can be, not for others. This sort of thinking only creates a lot of problems. It can be possible for everyone. The only thing is you must do what is to be done. This is the thing everywhere, I think. This is the thing everywhere. Any field you go, unless you try to get what is to be done, you cannot afford to get. So like that here also, you should not think it is not for ordinary people like that. Who told you are ordinary? Why don't you become the special? What stops you being the special? If at all it is only your own thing. Hence don't think like that and try to postpone it or push it back. That side, tomorrow, later, that, no. You should say when a good thing is there, Subhaste Sri Grande. When something is good, we should not postpone it for tomorrow, it is now. Once our Upanishad says, better make it now. Don't postpone it for next birth or next life. It is not in your hand. And the Upanishad says that getting moksham here is as clear and simple as even looking your reflection in the mirror. Do you know that? How much difficulty you have got to see your reflection in your mirror? Oh, looking at the mirror, I am tired. Do you? As a matter of fact, that is the best, the only thing I like. Everybody likes to look at the mirror whenever there is a chance. Why? Because we love all the time to look at us. That is the only thing we like all the time. That is, you are never tired of looking at the mirror. Morning while brushing, you look at it. Afterwards, you look at it. Whenever a chance, you look at it. You are never tired. How many times you look at my face? You never say that. Because you are never tired of looking at yourself. And Vedanta is telling what you are. See yourself. And what is you? I am the most beautiful Atma Satchidananda Swarupa. More you see yourself, you should be the happiest person, peaceful person in the life. This is the topic, understand itself. The real thing. With this actually the topic is over. The later section that is come, some incidental things to talk only, that is going to come particularly. The main, because moksha, that's why you should not take. Now based on this particularly, a doubt is raised or an objection is raised. What is the objection here? As we already told, that this difference between Jiva and Ishvara is so glaring. And how can I ever accept that I and Ishvara can be one and the same? Like that, one person is raising an objection. And that is the section and that is going to be answered using some technical method and all that we will read now. I don't think I will be able to complete. Let us see. Nanu sahankarasya kinchiknyasya jivasya nirahankarasya sarvajnasya Ishvarasya Tattvamasiti Mahavakyat Katham Abeda Buddhihi Syad Ubhayoho Viruddha Dharmakrantatvat. Now the person is saying, when between the Jiva and Isvara, the difference is so daylight-like difference. What is that? The Jiva's condition is sahankarasya, who has got ahankara. Ahankara means what? I am body, I am doer, I am sufferer or enjoyer. This opinion is called ahankara. That is there in everyone, one who entertains. Next is particularly kinchiknya. I told you, one who has got limited knowledge. Our knowledge condition is very limited. We have got limited area of knowledge, small things, little thing we know. Generally they will call kinchiknya or alpaknya. Either of them, two things we know. This is our status. How much knowledge we can have? We have got our own limitations. This limited scope of our knowledge is what is referred here as kinchiknya or alpaknya. This is another thing I see myself. Another one is called, that person is called jivasya. For this jiva, now Ishvara is who? Nirahankarasya, who is free from this confusion called I am body, I am doer, which is totally not there in Ishvara. And who is called Sarvajnaha, who knows everything, all knowledge is there. Then you have to add here Sarvajna. Sarvajna is also who? Sarva Shaktiman is called Sarva Vyapi, it is called Almighty. Bhagavan is Almighty, all knowledge, all pervading. And that Bhagavan and me in a corner isolated small fellow, you are trying to make me and that Lord one, like you and making the elephant and the cat one and the same. How is it possible, sir? The cat and the elephant can never become one and the same. Like that is Ishvara and Jiva. How do you bring particularly to be one? Even if you use certain Shastra sentences, that is what? In this particularly all of them, Twamasi iti Mahavakyat. This is Mahavakyas are sentences which goes to reveal this reality of identity. That is what is called Mahavakya. There are Vedas or four. We have seen. In each Veda there is a Mahavakya, generally the attribute. There is a Rigveda Mahavakya, which is called Prajnanam Brahma. This is one Mahavakya. Then Yajurveda. In the Yajurveda, or actually in the Yajurveda it is another Veda, it is Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda. In that there is a particular thing which is called as Aham Brahma Asmi. It comes there. Then when you come to Samaveda, there you have got particularly the thing called as the Twamasi. It is in the Samaveda. And finally you go to Atharvana Veda, there it is there, I am Atma Brahma. These are the four popular Mahavakyas. All of them have got commonly one thing to do, to tell that the truth of the Atma is this Parabrahma Swarupam. That is the purpose of these Mahavakyas. Now the one which one directly reveals that is called is Tat Twamasi. Tat means that, Tvam means you, Asi means are. So if you make a sentence out of that, you are that. Here you means the Jiva, that means Isvara. So when we say you are that, means it goes to reveal you are that Isvara. If you literally take it, that is the objection. As I am, and Isvara as what the Isvara is, I and Isvara can never be one and the same. If you literally understand this word. That is why this cannot be used for an ordinary layman. These sentences are used only after preparing the person, then that is used. Hence this person takes it literally and he is raising an objection, says Tattvamasi Mahavakyat. Even through this sentence, if you try to reveal this identity, Katham, how can there be Abheda Buddhi Syat? How can there be Abheda Buddhi? The absence of this Veda, such a thinking, how it can arise? Why? Reason he gives because between these two, Jiveshwara Yoho, Ubhayoho means between the Jiva and Ishvara, Viruddham, opposed dharmas, qualities, akrantatvat, because it is full of this particular, fully riddled with this difference in them. Already we have seen what is Ishvara, Sarvajnaha, everything, and I am ordinary, I am created, I live particularly governed by the cosmic laws, everything. Ishvara governs the cosmic laws. How can there be this particular identity? However much I stretch my imagination, it is impossible. Thus the student is, or a person who is sincere, cannot swallow this, he is raising this objection which anybody can raise. Understand itself. This is the method of teaching of Vedanta, you must know. It never leaves for anyone to think and just leave it like that. It threadbare discusses every aspect and proceeds. This is the method. Whenever this comes, this is what is called, generally you might have heard, called Purva Paksha. The Purva Paksha is a person who raises an objection to what is already stated. So this is what one person is raising an objection to. What was told, one should not entertain Veda Buddhi. Was told earlier. Nasvikarya was told. You say Nasvikarya, how can I not Svikarya? Because however much I stretch, I find I am unable to accept this identity that I and Ishvara are one and the same. So how do you tell me? If I can, I wish I could do it, but I find it is very, very difficult. I am unable to do it. This is what particularly it is said there. Now the answer is going to be given in the next thing we will see. Iti chet na sthula sukshma sharirabhimani tvam pada vachyartha upadi vinirmuktam shamadhi dasha sampannam Suddha Chaitanyam Tvam Pada Lakshyartha Evam Sarvajnatvadi Vishishta Ishvaraha Tatpada Vachyartha Upadi Shunyam Shuddha Chaitanyam Tatpada Lakshyartha Evam cha Jiveshwarayoho Chaitanya Rupena Abhede Bhataka Bhavaha Now the answer is given from a particular technical way. There are two things that are there, Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. We should first understand that. Then everything will become clear. Vachyartha means popular meaning, straightforward meaning. Lakshyartha means implied meaning. This is what we should always understand. So, straightforward meaning. There are in this Twamasi, there are words called Tvam, Tat, and there is Asi is a verb. Whenever says Tvam means you. Whenever straight away somebody says you, the you will generally be understood as what? The me, whatever I think. That is, I am the body. From the body I will say I am male or female. Then I am so and so. Like this, all these things is the immediate popular meaning of the word you. Anybody addresses. Is it or not? So anybody directly thinks I will be only that. So I am doer, born on this day, living like this, like that. This will be the thinking of another one. And Tat, if at all it stands directly, the popular meaning is called Isvara. Then we will think of that what? Isvara is almighty, is like this, like that, so many things we will think. So if we take from the popular straightforward meaning, there will be between Isvara and Jiva, there will be no identity. But then you should understand in what sense the sentence has been employed, used. And that sentence is used not from the direct, because our Shastra says, when should you resort to this implied meaning? Whenever the direct meaning contradicts what has been told, we should always resort to implied meaning. If Rama comes, if you say there is no problem, Rama comes, Rama is coming. If somebody says one pot is coming, immediately you can say, pot, how can it come? Pot cannot walk. So there is something implied by pot. Around there is one person who looks like a pot. So people have always referred, when pot coming, they know the person is coming. This is what is called Lakshyartha. Understand it? Because others should not know you are referring that person. But between you two people, you know you are referring to that person. So like that we have got our own coded words for many things, I tell you. When you tell others will know, other people will not know, two people understand what you are talking. Even between children and they have got their own way of particularly talking about others. When they say others won't know, but they all will laugh because they are said about somebody and nobody knows whom you are told. So this is such particular thing, indirectly telling something, implying something is what is called Lakshya Artham. So Tattvamasi, if it is taken from the direct sense, it will always create this problem. That's what he says. Iti chet na. If you say this objection is there, so that being the case, he says, if you consider and raise an objection like this, it is not so. That is the iti chet. In case you raise this objection, na. First of all, we don't say it is there. Such a problem is not there. Why? Because he says no. Tvam pada vachyartha. The direct meaning, immediate meaning, straightforward meaning of tvam, you means sthula sukshma sharira abhimani, the one who identifies and looks upon oneself to be the body mind complex. that is what is popularly in the world referred by you. So from that standpoint, you can never be one with Ishvara. Whereas, Upadi Vinirmuktam, free from the body, mind, Upadi. What is that? This is Samadhi Desha Sampanna, means when your buddhi has clearly understood. Don't think of Samadhi sitting somewhere or anything. Samadhi means the sum. There is a sum plus the. Sam means samyak, very well. The means buddhi, knowledge. Where the knowledge is very clear, at that stage is called Samadhi Desha. Because until knowledge takes place properly, you cannot have this vision. So the time when the knowledge has become clear, that period is time is called Samadhi Desha Sampannam. At that time arrived at, attained, clear to that person. What is that? Shuddha Chaitanyam. Shuddha Chaitanyam means the Satchidananda Swarupam itself is called Twampada Lakshyartham. Implied meaning of the word Tvam. Same case in the Ishvara Tat, when you say Ishvara is who? Sarvajñatva, Sarvashaktimatva, Sarvavyapakatva. With all these attributes in the form, like Vishnu the form, Shiva the form, Ganesha the form, through all of them when you see, that is called Tatpada Vachyartham, direct meaning. But the same thing, if you understand the Lakshyartham, implied meaning is what? Upadishunyam Shuddha Chaitanyam. Now, what you should do now? Remove this particular, that which is called Upadi, separate, and what remains now? Residue? Shuddha Chaitanyam. There also Shuddha Chaitanyam, here also Shuddha Chaitanyam. So what is common between both? Shuddha Chaitanya. So Shuddha Chaitanya Rupena, from the standpoint of Shuddha Chaitanyam, Satchidananda Swarupam, in this Abhedam, the non-difference between, there is no Badhakam, means there is no defect. You cannot find a defect. So what is truth? Jiva and Ishvara are one and the same. From what standpoint? Not from power or position, from simple truth, Satchidananda Swarupam. This is the matter to understand. Don't think I am Ishvara, I will have some power and all. No. Power-wise, no. You are not. Nobody can be. We should not go into all those miracle things and all. That is not Ishvara. The miracle creation, other things are Maya, please. They are all occult powers you can have through varieties of sadhanas and all. People think they are all related to Ishvara. Understand itself. You can get all of them. That is quite a different thing, and this truth, this moksham is totally different. When you are in the world creating all those things, you are another person within samsara only, having some better powers. Like people have got better powers, this is another spiritual power, that's all, nothing else. So don't equate that with Ishvara or anything, that is not. Ordinary people think like that, that is not correct. That is Ishvara. If you want to take that Ishvara, okay, because we are generally utilitarian. So naturally that person can do something, so he looks someone better than us. Correct, we don't deny that. We don't deny. But that doesn't mean the person is Ishvara. No, it is not. He can attain, you can go for that sadhana, yoga sadhanas and all. Through that you can have lot of all those things. So that is all a different mark to get all of them. You can do that. But this is quite different, that is quite different. We should not confuse both of them. That is quite different. We should clearly know that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So next month onwards we'll go back to